Okay, so I'm teaching new grammar ideas to my students, I like to build a sentence and we start with something that we kind of already know. So we start with an imperative sentence, and this is something that's already been introduced. So we ask, okay, what is the subject of the imperative sentence? And the student will say it's the implied you. And so they already know how to diagram this. You is the subject, sing is the verb. You sing what? A song. That's our direct object. And then A is our article adjective. It's going to go under whatever noun it's modifying. In this case, it's song. So we start with something simple like that. You sing a song. Then I ask my students, who are we talking to? Let's come up with a noun of direct address. So then one of my students said, Lucy. We're talking to Lucy. So, write Lucy. And that is our noun of direct address. And so then I have one of my students come up and write it on a line above the subject. And then someone said, hey, can we do Lucy the dog? And I was like, good, that's in a positive. So we took um, that, it comes right here, Lucy the dog. It renames. It renames a noun. In this case, it's renaming the noun of direct address. So we have Lucy the dog, and we would put the underneath the dog. So Lucy the dog, sing a song. Okay, now I ask them, let's come up with an ly adverb. How do we want Lucy to sing this song? And so someone says, loudly. We want Lucy to sing the song loudly. Okay, so then I would have a student come up and diagram it under the verb because it's an adverb. Let's just here. So we take this and put it underneath our verb on a slanting line. If you were doing this in your classroom, you could write it on a marker board, or you could write it on sticky notes and then have them physically move the sticky notes over, just like I did with these words here. So our sentence could be, Lucy the dog loudly sing a song. And then I asked them to come up with an adverbial prepositional phrase. So I would say, if we want it to be an adverbial prepositional phrase, we'd want it to answer maybe when or where. So someone says at night, or someone else says in the park. So something, just a prepositional phrase that answers a when or a where question. And so then we would take that and we'll go like this. We'll put our preposition. I'll have somebody come up there and write it underneath the verb. They already know it's going to be adverbial because that's what I told them to find at park. So our sentence would have said something like this: Lucy the dog, sing a song loudly at the park. And then you could have your students change some of the words and play around with it. So one of my students decided to say howl, since we're talking about a dog. So they could change it like this, and someone else could change this different adverb. But they already know where it's going to be diagrammed. They already know what part of speech it is because I asked them to come up with it. And so that's one way to teach all these new concepts that we have to cover, using just one simple sentence that you just keep adding on to.